Genesis, a short story by Abel Griswold. We didn't lose our memory, we chose to forget it. Genetic memory within humanity has largely eroded to a vague fear of something lurking just beyond the light, something that at first glance appears to be human, but in all actuality is mostly teeth. We have dubbed these creatures as vampires, slender men, and any of a dozen other names. By any name, depending on century or culture, we recognize these beings as humanity's only true predators. Fear, that's it. All that's left of the human memory. The best we have to offer in search of the past is to dig up the earth, looking for clues. However, there are creatures that walk alongside us, whose memory is intact, tracing back through the annuals of time. What has been stripped from these predators doesn't rewrite history. It does reveal the architects who guided it to failure, and knowing who they are will cause you to crush under the gravity of it. Before humanity's ancestors crawled out of the primordial swamp, the Earth was a very different world. A single continent we have come to call Pangaea, water, atmosphere, and teeming with life on a scale modern minds cannot comprehend. The Jurassic period, gargantuan beasts pulling foliage from the top of the canopy, tyrannical predators with teeth half the size of man, eviscerating anything that came across their path. The dinosaurs were the pinnacle of hundreds of millions of years of evolution. They didn't inherit the earth, they took it, with no tactical weakness or competition worth of name. They would have reigned indifferently. They never saw it coming. No hint, no warning, no way of knowing that the comet had been constructed for this very purpose to wipe the slate clean and to seed a rebirth for the three species that had all but killed each other. The comet closed the distance to its intended target, built of a unique alloy to protect the payload, a metallic liquid of bioengineered DNA and collective instruction. As the intergalactic warhead reached Earth's outer atmosphere, it broke into multiple sections, all impacting around the globe. The largest section, the Heart of Death, collided near what is now the Yucatan Peninsula. The impacts were devastating. The combined speed, force, weight, and composure of the alien alloy within the comet didn't just cause an extinction level event, it shattered the Earth's crust, the beginnings of fault lines, and the start of continental drift. The majority of large life perished. Those who didn't die in a wall of fire choked to death within weeks from ash, or succumbed to exposure from nuclear winter. Not long after the initial impact, a frail, pigment-less creature crawled from a fissure of one of the comet fragments. Small and weak, it had just hatched. Its structure was bent, bony, more than half starved. The hatchling scratched the ground with elongated clawed fingers. Its veined and leathered wings fluttered uselessly in the heat. Obsidian eyes scanned the sky as it opened his maw unnaturally wide, revealing needle-like teeth and tasting the air for the first time. As the newborn tested legs it had never used, the contaminated sky opened briefly, just a channel. The direct sun shone down on the thing that had not yet become what it was meant to be. It screamed. The skin boiled and tore open. The creature clawed its own face off, attempting to scratch the offending pain away. It only took moments and it collapsed, falling in upon itself, reverting back to a stage between flesh and fluid. Blood and ichor flowed, spilling into a pool of water. Native and alien proteins converged, amino acids rejected, then combined, exploding off each other, and there, in an unforgivable landscape and scenario, the unlikely happened. Life started once again. The impacts had one final consequence, unintended, impossible, and permanent. They split the earth into two realties. One world, our world, was wiped clean and set on a path of rebirth, one in which the three species reemerged with different names and slightly different faces, but genetic matches: humans, lichens, and vampires. A reality where civilization had neared its zenith several times over, just to collapse back to dust time and time again. The other reality went untouched. Life there continued, evolving over the next 65 million years, becoming the source of what our diminished memory and wishful thinking call the creatures of fairy tales and myth, magic Elves, goblins, trolls, dragons, the inspirational source for most mythic creatures. Now, two very different Earths exist within the same footprint, just slightly out of phase with each other, connected through sites of power, ley lines where the veil is thin and possible to cross over. Until one day, very soon, when the boundary collapses and what was divided becomes whole.